My name is Moonlit. I'm a partner development manager at Google Play, specializing in games. I am keenly aware that I am one of the last two things standing between you and happy hour. So let's talk something fun. What are some of the recent trends in innovation in mobile gaming? Specifically, genre mashing and subscriptions. You probably noticed my cheerleading squad sitting here. We're lucky to have Lauren, Chris, and Charles from three of our top partners join me on stage. You'll hear from each one of them their stories of innovation. But first, let me set the stage. Today, we'll cover these three things. First, I'll give you an overview of the global trends around genre mashing within mobile gaming. Second, we'll show you that this trend is not limited to just mashing games. Our three guests here will show you how they took genre mashing beyond gaming by bringing in three very different industries. And last, we'll touch on a little bit of monetization innovation recently, namely subscriptions in mobile gaming. All right, let's talk about genre mashing within gaming. The idea of combining multiple core game loops into the same game on mobile, it's not a recent phenomenon. In 2012, Gung Ho swept the world with the launch of Puzzle & Dragons, the godfather of puzzle RPG. Then in 2014, Summoner's War by Come To Us kick-started the era of CCRPG, or card collecting RPG. He also kick-started the era of long acronyms in mobile gaming. So consider this a forewarning for the amount of acronyms I'm going to use in the next 5 minutes. Today, genre mashing happens all over the world in mobile gaming, from the most casual to core to beyond gaming. Next, I'll share with you some testimonies and case studies from our top mobile game developers around the world. On the more casual end, we have Rodeo Stampede, an endless runner game with builder Meta. Featherweight, the Australian developer, with Yodel One, the Chinese publisher, used genre mashing as a way to differentiate, turning something that would have been a subtle twist into something much more unique. This innovation has won them multiple awards and helped the game go viral globally. Gardenscape is probably one of those most iconic successes of genre mashing in mobile gaming. Playrix, the Russian game developer, see genre mashing as a way to stand out from the crowded and established market, something we also observed earlier in Emily's talk on de-risking your launch. Playrix brilliantly interweaves two core games their core audience loves, Match 3 and Builder. The result is incredible player love, loyalty, and growth. The game is top grossing globally, including Asia. Now moving on to slightly more core. Castle Crush by TFG, a Brazilian game developer, combined the elements of combat strategy game with that of traditional trading card game, kind of like Magic the Gathering. The game only launched in June this year and already has more than 5 million installs with a 4.5-star rating. Lords Mobile is a real-time MMO strategy game with the colorful elements of an RPG. IGG, the game developer, see genre mashing as a way to meet the demand of their users for more sophisticated games. They also see as a way to bring new experience for users who might otherwise not try a different genre. Magic Rush by Moonlit Elex, Chinese developer and publisher, is a fresh combination of three genres. Moonlit created Magic Rush as a global entry point. By studying user pattern and demand around the globe, they learned that RPG has been popular in Asia, whereas combat strategy games perform really well in Europe and America. So Magic Rush was born as a way to improve upon the elements of RPG with the swipe action of tower defense games and the social appeal of SLG. But enough talking about mashing games. I want to turn it over to my guest speakers, who will share with you how they reinvented fun by mashing gaming with 3 very different industries. First, we'll hear from Pocket Gems about Episode Interactive, a game that's turning into a new medium for storytelling. And then we'll have Crowdstar to tell you about the recent hit Design Home, which presents mobile game as a canvas for design and creativity. And last, we'll hear from Workshop about how they're turning mobile gaming into a new channel for music. These are my star presenters. First, let's welcome Lauren Luke from Pocket Gems.
Thanks, Moonlit. Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren. I'm with Pocket Gems. Storytelling is at the core of what we do. One of the games I'm going to be talking about today is Episode. So storytelling itself isn't new. It's evolved over the course of thousands of years. It's crossed cultures, generations, continents, and it's existed in many complex forms. And when we look at its modern-day shape, what we're looking at right now is storytelling in mobile games. Episode is the world's largest network for stories created on mobile. Right now, we have 73,000 stories with 4 billion episodes viewed. We started back in 2014 as a format for story building that was built from the ground up for mobile. This format is still in its very early days, which is very clear when you look at other forms of modern storytelling, like television and movies. Episode is built for mobile, meaning that it has a portrait format, it allows for bite-sized consumption, and it's user-driven. You can think of it as Snapchat meets Netflix. Like Snapchat, it's an interactive entertainment built for mobile. Like Netflix, Episode is home to a network of Hollywood-caliber stories. We've been inspired by both novels and comics. Our stories are interactive and also animated, but we're not limited by print technology. We've also drawn from television and movies. We have engaging stories, sometimes even spun by Hollywood writers. But users control their own pace and how they engage with the story. Episode is loved by a mobile-only generation, which is comprised largely of Generation Z, which is just now coming of age. In a survey that we did of 36,000 people aged 13 through 25 in the US, we found that for women 13 through 25, 14% are using their phones for more than 12 hours a day. 11% are somehow checking their phones in the shower, and of those aged 13 through 17, 12% check their phones every few seconds. So mobile now needs a native format to address how this generation interacts with real stories. This is a group that's grown up entirely with smartphones, meaning that they have always actively participated in how they receive their entertainment. So whether it's sending snaps to friends, going climbing with VR, or watching a video on Musical.ly, they expect their entertainment to be both interactive and visual. We've also been working with a handful of IP partners. As Hollywood has taken successful books and made them into legendary film franchises, such as Harry Potter and Twilight, Episode is now the first to take great TV and movie franchises and bring them natively to mobile. In 2015, we partnered with Paramount to bring Mean Girls to Episode. In 2016, we worked with our friends over at Warner Brothers to release Pretty Little Liars. And this year, we're thrilled to be working with Universal to introduce Pitch Perfect on mobile to the world. So this will be out in the next few months. Keep an eye open for it. And with these franchise launches, Episode has begun to establish itself as an industry model, bringing fans the ability to actually be part of stories that have these cult followings. As YouTube's led to the rise of streamers and Snapchat's given way to a new kind of social celebrity, Episode has also formed a new class of creators. We've shared our storytelling tools and made them available to all who are in Episode. Episode creators are now building their own long-form narrative stories. Right now, we have over 8 million creators who are telling their own stories within the app, and there are 5 million weekly active users who are reading Episode original stories as well as these Hollywood-inspired stories. So as we continue to build Episode, we are thinking constantly not only of the stories that we're bringing to the world, but of this community of storytellers. and we're thrilled to be part of this special and unique opportunity to help give storytellers both a platform and a voice. Thank you. Next up, we've got Chris from Crowdstar.
Thanks, Lauren. Thank you. Hi, I'm Chris. I'm the GM of Design Home. I'm super excited to be here. I want to thank Moonlit. I want to thank Cliff. I want to thank Emily for the opportunity. Google has been an unbelievable partner to us. We're a little different, and they've really gotten us, and I super appreciate it. Before I talk, Design Home is a 3D interior design game. It's essentially an endless dollhouse, but for grown-ups. And before I talk about Design Home, I want to talk a little bit about the philosophy of the studio I work for called Crowdstar. Because Crowdstar has actually been mashing up reality-based design games for 5 years. First with the hit Covet Fashion in the fashion space, which after 5 years is still going very strong. And now with Design Home, which we launched about 11 months ago. And to be honest with you, Crowdstar was born in a moment of desperation, or at least the current iteration of Crowdstar, when they realized that they had better do something different and something bold, or they were going to die a certain death. And what they did, and I wasn't there at the time, is really look for the white space. And what they found was there was a huge segment of people that were totally underserved by the gaming market in something that not only would enthrall them, but also would help them in their real life. And that segment was women, not girls, but women. And they have a different mindset, really. These are women who are coming into their own financially. They are highly engaged, highly creative. They often are focused on people that aren't always themselves, namely families. And this is a creative canvas for them to not only express their creativity, but apply it to real life. And it's a positive-sum game. We always make sure it is a positive-sum game. Okay, so what do? We partner with real brands. We model real products, and we put them into 3D settings. We're essentially changing the conversation between makers and consumers so that makers aren't just talking at consumers. We're giving the consumers a chance to play with products in a fun atmosphere, and then it always comes with links so that you can buy things in the real world. So, for example, we have dozens and dozens of real furniture partners, some big, and we also go and find niche boutiques. And to date, we've modeled 6,700 products, and that grows every single day. It's a very simple game loop. It's shop, design, win, right? And it opens up a world of content experiences that you just can't do. You can't do in your own home. You get to mix and match and visualize completed designs in a way that mood boards could never duplicate. We launch 5 challenges, handcrafted challenges a day. They stay open for 3 days. And once you're done with your design, you submit it, and it gets scored, frankly, by the audience. So it goes in, and other people vote on what's good and what's not. You get back your score. You get virtual prizes, so everybody's happy. And then you also see what the winning designs were, the highest score, so you can see what you might have done better or what goes with what. So there's always a learning experience. And it's a mixture of highly relatable settings, whether it's a suburban house in Erie, Pennsylvania, to an apartment in New York, to aspirational settings like a tropical island, and then we have some fantasy settings. So you could be designing a moon base, or like at Christmas time, one of my personal favorites was you did the interior of a gingerbread house. It's simple and it's fun. But it turns out that modeling reality is really hard. And I'm blessed to work with some incredible producers, engineers, and artists, because the standards that you have to reach to model reality are really high. These are not stylized characters running around a screen. You have to figure out not only model the furniture and the decor perfectly, but the room has to fit. You have to figure out the lighting. You have to figure out the shadows and how everything is going to go together when you have thousands of products that the user might use. And then you have to also run a handcrafted live ops, which is just really intense. And again, I'm super blessed with the people that I work with. And while we're happy with the aesthetics now, you can imagine where this space is going. I mean, our objective is to be able to fall into the room, to taste the air in the room. And with AR, VR, and lots of other possible Rs coming, it's a pretty exciting and dynamic space. I'm enthralled on really where it can go. So far, we were launched in November 15th, so we're coming up on our one-year birthday. Through June, which is what I can talk about now that we're a publicly traded company because we were acquired by Glue, we've had 25 million downloads. We've exceeded 1 million users every day, done a little more than $40 million in bookings. But I think really most interesting thing is that our users are generating more than 2 million handcrafted rooms a day. We've built a house of over 500 million rooms. I think we're just getting started. Thanks for your time. I'll buy you a drink at the bar if later.
Now you heard from Workshop how they're thinking about their subscription design. I want to also share with you some best practices. There are 2 main ways of using subscription in your mobile games. 1, we have subscription VIP. 2, we have subscription IAP. Promise I'm not going to rap. Subscription VIP is all about the high-value users. These users are motivated by prestige, vanity, loyalty rewards. So your goal as a developer is to really increase long-term retention, total revenue, the loyalty from the payers and also other players. Some examples of subscription VIP design include exclusive and/or early access to special content, specific and special promos for these subscribers, and also higher daily caps. For subscription IAP, you should be thinking about targeting everybody else, but especially the non-buyers. These people are motivated by getting a good financial deal. So your goal as a developer is to really increase buyer retention and cultivate the habit of logging in daily to increase your LTV. So some example of subscription IAP design include having a SKU of gems that pay out over several periods of time, several days, for example. This will help players come back in and log in daily to claim the rewards. As with all subscription monetization design, really keep track of the downsides. Be careful of cannibalization and keep a close pulse of your player sentiment among your community. Now, talking about trends and innovations fun, I also want to leave you with something to take with you as you head into happy hour after the next session. So let's summarize. Genre mashing should be used for 1, differentiation, or 2, as a new way to consume content. Subscriptions should be used for 1, VIP, to identify VIP, to encourage engagement, to increase loyalty. And subscription IAP should be used to offer a good deal for people who might otherwise not spend in your games. Now, thank you. And thanks, Lauren, thanks, Charles and Chris, for an amazing talk and sharing with us your experience. Let's give them a round of applause.